As the championship battle intensifies, this classic European circuit promises a true test of car and driver with its mix of high-speed corners and technical sections. Let's break down the weekend as the world's best drivers push the limits in pursuit of victory on this iconic Spanish asphalt. Welcome to Let's Talk F1. Before we jump into the rest of the video, be sure to subscribe for future episodes and leave your comments below. Join the discussion and let us know your thoughts. Let's quickly talk about the key takeaways from practice. McLaren's strong form. McLaren has shown significant pace throughout the practice sessions, with both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris consistently topping the timesheets. In FP3, Oscar Piastri was fastest in the final practice session, beating his teammate Lando Norris by half a second. Piastri's fastest lap was 1 minute 12.3. FP1 and FP2, both Norris and Piastri again topped one of the free practice sessions on Friday, indicating strong performance across different conditions, which we surely saw in the race, but more on that in a moment. Ferrari and Mercedes are also in the mix, with Charles Leclerc showing good pace, placing third in FP3. George Russell of Mercedes also demonstrated potential, finishing fourth in FP3, while his teammate Kimi also showed strong pace at times. But it didn't end well for Kimi in the race, but we'll get to that. Red Bull's challenge. Max Verstappen rounded out the top 5 in FP3, but he was nearly a full second adrift of the fastest McLaren, suggesting that the Red Bull might have some setup changes on the way to catch up to the McLarens in the future and just to find outright pace. The importance of qualifying. Is this track similar to Monaco? The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya is known for its strong correlation between qualifying position and race outcome. Historically, 91% of the Spanish Grand Prix at this venue have been won by drivers starting from the front row. This emphasizes the critical importance of the qualifying session for Sunday's race, which we clearly see based on the race results. But we'll get to that. Let's quickly talk about quali. Oscar Piastri snatched pole position in a superb display of pace, with Lando starting on the front row alongside his teammate. There were some key qualifying pointers that I think stood out, and I think it's necessary to note. The McLaren dominance. The Papaya showcased immense strength, locking out the front row of the grid. Oscar Piastri secured his 4th pole position of the season, beating his teammate Lando Norris by a significant margin of over 0.2 of a second. Importantly, this is the largest pole margin of the year so far. This marks McLaren's first front row lockout at the Spanish Grand Prix since 1998. I think I was about maybe 8, 9, a testament of their strong performance this season. Piastri's final flying lap in Q3 was a masterclass, clocking in at 1 minute 11.5. He managed to find significant time when it mattered most, overcoming Norris, who had been previously on pole after his first Q3 runs. We must acknowledge Norris's effort though. Lando pushed hard but couldn't quite match Piastri's ultimate pace on his final attempt, making a couple of minor errors that cost him. Despite this, a front row lockout is a fantastic result for McLaren and raises questions about the team game plan in the future. We all know that McLaren is giving Lando the priority here, but let's see. Max Verstappen in his Red Bull qualified in 3rd, but he was nearly a third of a second off Piastri's pace. This indicates that Red Bull has some setup changes to do to catch up to the McLarens in outright single lap speed at this particular circuit. Mercedes and Ferrari are also in the mix, with George Russell delivering an identical lap time to Verstappen, but will start 4th due to Verstappen setting his lap first. Lewis Hamilton put in a strong performance to qualify 5th, out-qualifying his teammate Charles Leclerc, who finished 7th for only the 2nd time this season. Kimi Antonelli also showed good pace, securing 6th. There were a few midfield surprises. Pierre Gasly put in an impressive performance to get his Alpine into 8th on the grid, while rookie Isaac Hadjar of Racing Bulls continued his strong form, qualifying 9th ahead of home hero Fernando Alonso in his Aston Martin in 10th. Also, Gabriel Bortoleto having his career-high starting position on the grid in P12. There have been some amount of struggles for others, I think. There was disappointment for Carlos Sainz, who failed to make it out of Q1 in his home race, qualifying 18th for Williams, while Yuki Tsunoda had a disastrous session for Red Bull, ending up last in 20th after struggling to find pace. Not sure what's up with Yuki, and he needs to be careful based on how Red Bull runs their team. We all know how Marco Helmut can be. Lance Stroll was unable to start the race due to a hand injury. If you recall, he had a cycling accident back in 2023 and he was replaced by, well, no one. But why? Aston Martin has Felipe Drugovich and ex-McLaren F1 driver Stoffel van Dorn as reserves. But unfortunately, neither were eligible to replace Stroll for the Grand Prix in Spain. Article 32.2, Section A, I had to look it up, of the F1 sporting regulations outlines that a driver can be replaced at any time before the start of the qualifying session. And we all know Lance was in qualifying. It means that a driver can't be called up to a race seat without first taking part in a session that preceded it in the race weekend. So with this late announcement by Aston Martin, the grid saw only 19 cars, 18 on the grid and 1 in the pit lane, being Yuki changing his suspension. Now let's jump into the race. It was very wild indeed. The 2025 Spanish Grand Prix saw a dominant McLaren 1-2 victory, with Oscar Piastri winning from pole position and Lando Norris securing second place. This marks McLaren's 7th win in 9 races and their 3rd 1-2 of the season, with Piastri claiming his 5th victory. The race was not without its drama, particularly in the closing stages due to a late safety car period. Max Verstappen's race unraveled after being forced onto hard compound tires during a late pit stop. More on that in a second. This left him with low grip and leading to a collision with Charles Leclerc after the safety car restart, which initially saw Verstappen drop places, and then a highly controversial collision with George Russell. Verstappen was ordered to give the position back to Russell after an earlier off-track overtake, but then appeared to steer into the Mercedes, resulting in a 10-second time penalty. This penalty dropped Verstappen from what would have been a P5 finish down to 10th place. This also put him on 11 penalty points, just 1 away from a race ban. The race also saw Fernando Alonso score his first points for the season for Aston Martin, while teammate Lance Stroll withdrew due to a hand injury, as we mentioned before. Mega drive from Nico Hülkenberg, finishing 5th for the race ahead of Hamilton and due to the penalty for Max. But here's a question: why did Max go on the hard tires? Why not stay out on the softs? Regardless if they had nothing else in the tire selection, I think the softs could have made it to the end, especially with the safety car. What's your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. After that collision with Russell, Max gets a 10-second penalty, as we mentioned. Understandable for that collision on track. Do you think it was justified? Do you think Max did it on purpose? Your thoughts in the comments below. Oh, and just remember that people voted Max as the driver of the day. That one was interesting for me. I would have definitely given it to Nico Hülkenberg. Best race finish for Kick Sauber since they started racing in F1. Overall, a great race by Oscar Piastri to finish in the top position and the 5th win of the season for him. McLaren taking home the 1-2, a well-deserved 3rd place for Charles Leclerc as well. Next up is the Canadian Grand Prix, which is predominantly held at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Montreal. This track has a rich history filled with dramatic races, iconic moments, and significant events that have helped to shape Formula One. We all know the Wall of Champions. From 1999 onwards is the final chicane before the start-finish straight at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and has earned the infamous nickname the Wall of Champions. This is due to the number of world champions who have crashed into the barrier on the exit of the chicane over the years. The most famous instance was in 1999 when 3 former F1 champions, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve, all crashed into the wall during the same race weekend, adding to its legendary status. Many other drivers have since fallen victim to its unforgiving nature. We can also remember Jenson Button's epic comeback in 2011. That year, the Canadian Grand Prix was widely regarded as one of the greatest F1 races of all time. Jenson Button, starting 7th, endured multiple incidents: a collision with teammate Lewis Hamilton, a drive-through penalty, a puncture that dropped him to last place. After a prolonged rain delay and numerous safety car periods, Button relentlessly charged through the field, making a record 6 pit stops. On the very last lap, he overtook Sebastian Vettel, who made a rare mistake under pressure, to snatch an astonishing victory. And a final fun fact for you die-hard race fans: the race lasted over 4 hours, making it the longest in F1 history. What do you recall as the greatest moment at this Canadian circuit? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to check out our other episodes of Let's Talk F1. Share your comments below and join the discussion, and consider subscribing to the channel. That surely helps us out a lot. We are on other socials as well, including IG and Threads, so check them out as well. Also, be sure to check out our car merch at modcity.com. We feature some F1 inspired merch as well. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, this is Let's Talk F1.